So I had a thunk the other day about how Klei has loved introducing a new mechanic or two, only to release another piece of kit or otherwise months later that ups and trumps the first guy, like Tridents here. They and their Gnarwail required crafts have been in the game for years, and yet I still see no one using them. So I wondered, why? Is it because the Gnarwails needed to even think about making them are pretty rare? As I can't give you that, I guess, at least a tiny bit of it, as a 7.5 chance to pop out of the ocean per ocean fish school generation isn't that great. However, ocean fish schools do indeed spawn every 15 to 60 seconds nearby, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And given how simple and almost passive the act of obtaining their horns are, there is literally no reason not to hit every single Gnarwail that you encounter. Unless you don't have a boat patch, I guess. That, or a grass raft. Then all we need to look out for is the flat damage that said rafts will take over any additional leaks, which actually could be better, honestly. But with all that in mind, what if I told you that we could essentially force the game into spawning Gnarwails nowadays? What if one of Wickerbottom's newest books generated 2 to 3 schools of fish each read, rolling that very 7.5 chance over and over and over again? Well, we can. And there's actually no real limit to it either if planned accordingly. However, it is not without fault. Rockjaws also have that very same 7.5 chance to arrive near a school, and that will spell trouble. It's potentially not great, but it's still potentially the most efficient quote-unquote farm of each around. And if you don't want them anymore, just leave the screen. They'll both despawn. But to add to this, it is also unbelievably cheap as well, as Wickerbottom's Angler's Survival Guide is available immediately. The wooden bobbers needed 4 additional books cost a log each at a tackle receptacle. And as said prior, the boat patches are optional, but why not just make some, as they too are super simple. And folks, that's it. That's the Gnarwail part of this equation already summed up. But what are we even doing all this for, Beard? It's like you alluded to at the start. Do we even truly care about doing all of that for a Strident Trident that still can't even be ours until we kill the Crab King, or find the blueprint in a lucky loot stash drop? I really don't know. But I'll just relay the truth, and we'll go from there. Yes, back in the day, this craft here was abysmal with them 3 horns needed, but as I just showed you, it's easier than ever to get them, so it's honestly not that bad in this regard. That said, using it for the wrong things could really continuously sour your taste of the thing, as if it's used on land, it only deals 27.2 damage a hit, but get permission to climb aboard, and suddenly a whole new world opens up. We can now start using the thing's spells that deal 85 damage per geyser, instantly mine salt formations or sea stacks, propel ocean fish out of the water, and more. At 3 uses per spell, mind though. To continue though, we can puncture boats if you wanted, however I prefer to focus on the instant damage increase to 68 per hit, as the former doesn't really mean much in PvE with this thing. Strident Tridents can also uproot bulk kelp for transplanting wherever you please, which is quite ideal. And lastly, can be combined with whatever fish farms one can think of nowadays, using docks and otherwise. It's not terrible, truly. However, the issue is that it's now overshadowed by a newer item. That item being the cannon kits. Yes, you heard that right. The stationary cannon of the Moon Key update could very well outshine everything we just witnessed, as guess what? It does everything we just witnessed itself. Puncturing boats with them actually prevents pirate raids entirely over just the prime mate patching it up like it would with the Strident Trident. Cannons can uproot bulk kelp as well. They are easily better for any fish farm out there, as they do step 2 for us if you catch my drift. And oh yeah, we only need a frickin' banana or 2 to obtain their relevant blueprints over any boss kills. Yeah, even with the cannonballs requiring gunpowder, I think we can all agree that cannons are the way to go here nowadays. That said, they aren't quite as portable at the end of the day, so I will give the Strident one last tiny nod there, I suppose. But there you have it, everyone. Some strange combination of a guide and a concern for quote-unquote lost items with don't stuff together that Beardo woke up thinking about, so he made a video on it. And this time around, it was all about the Strident Trident. However, However, I would be curious to hear your thoughts on not only what we covered today, but other potential forgotten items out there in the world, so leave a comment below for me, and we might have more on the horizon. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Do not ignore the Gnarwail side of this guide, as it's actually kind of even more important, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.